Yo, Mutthead TV, what is going on? It's Popular Stranger, and we are back again today with another Madden Ultimate Team video for you. No gameplay today, but what I wanted to talk about, and this is in my opinion, but I think it's going to help a lot of you budget players or guys who don't have many coins to find some cards on the auction house that will make your team a whole lot better. And so I'm going to give you guys my top 10 cards that are under 10K, and this should be on all four Platinums, 360, Xbox One, PS3, and PS4. I think these cards could help you. Some of them I've actually used and had on my team at one point. Some of them I haven't, but just looking at the stats, it looks like they would be very, very helpful. And so if you guys have any input on these cards, or if there's anything that I did not have on my list, definitely feel free to add in the comment section. But the first one would be the Elite Road to the Playoffs, Dominique RodgersCromartie. This is a great card, and look at this. There's tons of them under 10K here, and you can even find them in different chemistries. For example, he has a zone defense and pass rush chemistry, and also a man defense and run stuff chemistry. And just looking at the back of the card, the most important things about this card to me are the speed, which is at 96, and his height, 6'2", and also his jumping, which is at a 98. I've usually had this guy either in the slot or my fourth cornerback, and a lot of times when people try to test him, instead of going for the interception, I just spam on my L1 button, which would be the left trigger for Xbox, I believe. And instead of trying to intercept the ball, you just go up and swat the ball down. It's a much safer play. You make it to the next down. You avoid that letdown of trying to intercept it and your player not jumping at all and then giving up a long pass. But I love his jumping ability. Again, his awareness is pretty good as well. Some hidden stats. Again, here's the back of the card stats, but some hidden ones. The 98 jumping, 95 acceleration, and 90 elusiveness is just pretty good. If you're able to get an interception with him, you can always try to get that pick six. So there's number one. We'll keep it on the defensive back side of the ball, and I want to go to the New England Patriots here, who have another cornerback, another elite road to the playoff card, and that's going to be Aqib. I'm sorry if I'm messing up his first name, Talib. And this card, for the most part, you can find under 10K. You see, now when I'm recording this, it's a little bit in the daytime, so sometimes the auction house is a little inflated. But for the most part, especially on the weekends, you're going to find this card well under 10K, no problems at all. So you see, again, man defense and run stuff, or zone defense and pass rush. Two different chemistries, and he's more of a coverage corner, not as fast, only a 92 speed, but he's got good man coverage at 92, good agility at 94, good press coverage at 91, another tall cornerback sitting at 6'1", and he's a very, very good defender. Some stats, again, not on the back of the card, 95 jumping, 94 acceleration, and a 79 catching. I've heard really good things about this card. And again, if you want to get other opinions on any cards, you always just can head over to Mutthead TV. Oh my god, that was a total fail right there. You're on Mutthead TV right now, my bad. But always head over to mutthead.com, and any player card that is existed for Ultimate Team this year is in there. You type in that player name, and there's a comment section below the card where you can check out pretty much other people's opinions on the card. I find it very useful, and a lot of people raved about that card that I just showed you. So let's move on to the next one. Alright, so the next card we're going to get into is also in the defensive side of the ball, and he has three different versions: the base gold, the playoff gold, and the road to the playoffs gold. This card is just crazy good for a cold card. I had the base gold on my team forever. And not only can you get him under 10K, you can almost get him under 5K, guys. And again, on the weekends, the best time to buy a card. But gold Bobby Wagner. Now, yes, there are upgraded versions of this card. And if you can afford them, go out and do that. But for you guys who are really balling on a budget, I mean, this card is great. 89 speed, 95 tackle, a 92 press coverage, 91 pursuit. This is a gold card, guys, and he plays even much better than his stats. 90 hit power he has, which you cannot see on the back of this card. He also has 79 zone coverage and that all-important that I mentioned, 92 jumping. He's just pretty much an athlete at a middle linebacker, and this card, as I said, held me down for a very, very long time. Back when this game first started out, he was my middle linebacker for a very long time. And if you have the coin, like I mentioned, go ahead and get the updated version of him, because it's just going to be even better for you. Alright, so maybe I'm being a little bit of a homer with this card, but I've played online a lot lately, and I've noticed a lot of people use this card. And Nick Foles, and I said maybe I'm a little bit of a homer because I am a pretty big Eagles fan. And look at this right now. I almost want to buy this card. Okay, well, that was just a fail. Once again, I failed twice in this video now. I was going to buy that because I thought it was only $5,000, but that was the bid price. But Nick Foles here, I got to say, is probably the best, cheapest pocket passer quarterback in the game right now. And I faced a lot of people with this card. His accuracy is very, very good. But this is the playoff version, a 95 overall. He does have a fantasy version, which was because he won the Pro Bowl MVP, which is a 96 overall. I haven't really looked at the pricing for that card, but I don't believe it's under 10K. But doesn't mean you can't find it for 10K if you search the auction house. But he's 6'6", very slow, 64 speed. We all know that he's very slow. But the pocket passer type quarterback that he is very good. And even though he's slow, he does have a 90 throw on the run stat, which you don't see on the back of this card, and a pretty good 85 play action stat as well. So if you're looking for a pocket passer, I definitely suggest checking this one out. If you're looking for a quarterback that's kind of a dual threat, not meaning he's a running quarterback, but one that can run if you need to, I would really suggest checking out, and I won't show it on the screen, but I suggest checking out the playoff Alex Smith card. He has very similar passing stats to Nick Foles, but he's a lot faster. And again, he's not a running quarterback, but he is a quarterback that can run. So there's kind of a difference there, but definitely, take a look at him if you want somebody that, is a little more speedy. He might help your needs there. So let's get into the next one. This one's a fantasy card, and again, these prices, I mainly looked them up according to MUT. So I'm a little worried that some of these might not be as cheap as they normally were, but everyone that we've hit on so far has been the price that we expected. So this card, the Fantasy Chris Ivory, and I told you guys these are under 10K, but look how cheap this card is. He's a 90 overall, and you can get him for 3,500 coins. This card is a monster. I've played it against it many times. Even with my overpowered linebackers, he runs people over. 90 speed, 96 trucking, 90 acceleration, 94 ball carrier vision, 94 just carry. And some other stats not on the back of the card: 86 strength, 96 stiff arm, a ground and pound and speed run chemistry. This is a very, very good power back, a poor man's Marshawn Lynch, if you will. And if you're looking for a nice kind of speed 1-2 punch combination, check out the fantasy Andre Ellington card. He's a running back for the Arizona Cardinals. He's kind of a speed back where he has really good speed. He's kind of like a poor man's Reggie Bush or LaShawn McCoy. So if you're looking for a cheap 1-2 punch, check out Chris Ivory and Andre Ellington, both fantasy cards, both well under 10K. Alright, so staying on the offensive side of the ball, we're going to check out a wide receiver here who has crazy speed, and that's Demaryius Thomas. Now, he has several cards out, and that's really helpful when we get to a card like this. Now, he is part of a collection, so sometimes it is hard to find him under 10K, and today, right now, as I'm looking this up, he's a little over 10K, but on average, you can find him for under that price. Again, the weekends are always the best time to find a card cheaper than what it normally goes for. So we are still going to talk about it, even though at the moment it's not under 10K. But these stats are amazing. And even at 13.5K, I mean, this is still a really good value card. 95 speed, 94 catch, 93 release, 93 spectacular catch, 89 catch in traffic. That would be nice, if it was a little better. But if you don't use him in the slot, use him as an outside receiver. Sometimes you don't really have to worry about that. And again, look at that, 6'3". So he's a tall, tall receiver who can get out and catch the ball. He has really good acceleration as well at 93, and just a solid, speedy overall wide receiver. Now, again, he has several other versions of cards out. There's a playoff version, a fantasy version, which at this point I think is kind of too late to get because it did require collections, or collectibles, I should say. He has a breast cancer card, tons of cards. So Demaryius Thomas, just a really good ultimate team player. I definitely suggest checking this one out. So let's keep moving on offense. We're going to go to a tight end here. You see here, you probably get this now, that I kind of tried to touch almost every position and kind of spread the wealth on offense and defense. But let's check out Road to the Playoffs, Antonio Gates. Now this card, again, you can normally find well under 10,000 coins. We're right at 10,000 at this point. But he's a really solid blocking and receiving tight end. I saw kind of different opinions on muthead.com in the comments section about this card. A lot of people say he catches the ball with no problem. Some people say he drops a lot of passes. When I tested him out, he caught everything that I threw to him, especially in traffic, though he has a low catch in traffic rating at 86. His awareness, very good at 95. Doesn't really help as far as receiving, but when he's blocking, he does pick up blocks. I mean, he's 6'4". We all know Antonio Gates is a big guy. 86 speed, 87 spectacular catch, 87 catch, 86 route running. Just a solid tight end if you're looking for one in this price range. And some hidden stats, some stats that are not on the back of the card. 87 acceleration, 88 release for those people who try to press him. He can get off of press coverage pretty well. Alright, so let's get back over to the defensive side of things, and this card has to be one of the most underrated cards in the game. It's right outside linebacker, Super Bowl MVP Malcolm Smith, and look at this, you can get him right now at this point for 6,469 coins on the PlayStation 3. He's a right outside linebacker with zone defense and pass rush, and just crazy stats for the price that he is. And again, with a lot of these fantasy cards, because there were so many in packs, they're so not rare, you can get them for cheap. Now, this card, I would be a little worried because, people will probably start buying it and have been buying it, and it could eventually just be harder to find because it's not in packs anymore. But just 90 speed, 93 tackle, 90 play recognition, 94 pursuit, 93 agility. Just a monster of a card for the price that he is. 93 acceleration. He has 87 jumping and 82 hit power. Not that great, but a very good coverage linebacker with a lot of speed. And if you're looking for an outside linebacker, I definitely would suggest checking this one out. If you're looking for a safety who is a hard hitter and pretty good in coverage, then you'll definitely want to check out this next card. It's Mike Mitchell, the playoff version. Now, right now, he is a little pricey, and there's not too many on the auction house, but as you can see, there is still one available for 10K, and that is our target. Again, I like to compare all these cards to really good versions of other players, and I would call this guy, Mike Mitchell, a poor man's Brian Dawkins. And that's because if you look at the back of the card, he has decent stats. A 93 zone, 80 awareness, not so good. 80 man coverage, not so good. But he does have decent speed at 92 and decent agility at 93. But his hit power, and that's what you want out of a strong safety, is pretty good at a 90. As a 90 hit power, 94 acceleration, he's not really going to get you many interceptions. Though, again, on the comment section of muthead.com, I saw people say that surprisingly he does catch the ball often. He does have 71 pursuit rating and a 64 catching. But he's more, that's why he's a strong safety, and I really believe that he will be able to jar the ball loose on pass plays if you use him correctly and use that hit skit correctly. And last but not least, there's one more right outside linebacker that I want to talk about, and he is going to be a little hard to find, but if you can, because he's not in packs anymore, definitely check him out. And that's Lavonte David. Now, this card, there's a couple different versions that you can find. So, you see there's the Road to the Playoff 94 overall. you can find him for under 10K, and he's a pretty good linebacker. He has an upgraded Football Outsiders version now that's a 96 overall that you can get for like 20K. But right here, 87 speed, 88 awareness, 95 tackle, 84 block shed, 94 pursuit, 90 play recognition, 89 agility, and if you can, you still do have this Football Outsiders, which is a 90 overall. So there's a couple different versions, a bunch of different ways to mix and match your chemistry. But he's the last card I'll talk about today, and again, one that I think you should definitely check out. Just real quick before we end the video, let's see what his newest card is going for, because I pulled one of these not too long ago, and I looked at the price, and that's still a pretty good price. I mean, he's very comparable to like a team captain Alec Ogletree, as far as speed and coverage. So those are the 10 cards. I hope you guys found them useful. If there's any cards I left out or you think that should be added to the list, definitely let me know. And make sure you click that thumbs up. Again, I'm Popular Stranger. Thanks for watching. I'm out. Peace.